What's going on, YouTube? What's going on? It's been a while. It's been quite a while, man. It's your boy Clash Masters, and I'm back with another one of the Saber Talks for the Blue Saber Gaming. This one I had said in the Blue Saber podcast. I was bigging up PlayStation in the last episode, and my boy Nightwing was wondering if I talked about the whole lawsuit that was going on. I was kind of like, nah, I'll talk about that next week. But as the days went on, I was just kind of, sitting there taking notes, and I'm starting to see, it kind of, some people covering it and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, I definitely want to inform people who may not know, who may know or whatever. I'm not a journalist, not by the far. I'm just trying to give you a heads up or something like that. And just to kind of give my spin on the whole situation with lawsuits. Listen, everyone, is trying to get a piece of that pie. And when you have a company like Sony that, is bringing in revenue every day, month, yearly, it's crazy. If your practice is bad, you're going to have a lot of people that's more than likely going to try to find a way to get money out of you. That's just the facts. Big companies generate millions of dollars, and you have the working class citizens, the people who are struggling to make ends meet, try to find a way to get some of that. So I know this was in the United Kingdom, and I know they kind of got some stuff going on with their higher ups, and they got it sanctioned, so now they're pushing the whole thing. I think there was rumored if it happens, a lot of us would be expecting to get a redemption code for $60, maybe $70, maybe $60, for us to get a game on the PlayStation Network. That'll probably be on our PlayStation wallet. I don't think they would send $60 just worldwide in people's mail, because then we might have a situation like what happened with Nike, where people are over here taking, everyone's $60. You know what I'm saying? My neighbor might have a PlayStation. My other neighbor across over here might have one across the street. And imagine just taking all that, So I don't really see that happening, but I really do see it coming to just the PlayStation Network, for people to kind of just have it right then and there, like a redeem code, or probably check your emails and just have us punch in a redemption code or whatever, and we have a $60 thing to kind of get our stuff. But I kind of did a little bit of rambling. For people who don't know, like I said, I'm just here to kind of educate you and just to kind of give you a personal reaction of what I think about it and what's been going on. So it's time for me to kind of clear up what I had said earlier in the podcast. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and get the show on the cracking. Let me go ahead and give you this take, bring that to the forefront.
Sony faces a mass lawsuit worth up to $7.9 billion over its PlayStation Store practices. The ruling was made at a London tribunal. Let's take a closer look. Sony Interactive Entertainment was sued in 2022.
Okay, so this was literally last year they got sued, so it was in London, in UK. I don't know how many units were sold over there. I can't, give you that number. But the fact that it happened last year. Now, for a lot of people who don't know, when you're suing these big companies, you're not going to be able to get the money right then and there or months later. It usually takes a long time. A lot of times they got to go through their lawyers and kind of drag it on. But then your lawyer, those people's lawyers or whatever, would kind of keep it pushing, and to have something by the end of next year or so like that. It happens with a lot of companies. These are big time companies that, really try to maneuver it and stuff like that. So 7.9 billion is a lot of bread, man. That's like trying to keep it, you know what I'm saying? Because shit, that's 7.9 million. You know what I'm saying? That and people out here living out in boxes like they're in California. So, that ain't nothing to really like shy away from. Most people nowadays, they try to get that type of money, but they get a little piece of change. That's more than a piece of change. That's the whole cheese. The whole cheese, man. So, but it happened last year. I don't know what month, but it happened last year. And now we're in 2023. Now they're gonna have court. Now the biggest thing is when it gets resolved, we're at the end of the quarter, fourth quarter, going into 2024. So we might see that next year or so. So we'll see what happens, and hopefully it gets handled, it gets settled. I know PlayStation made, I think 57 or 32,000 copies, or like maybe 1 million, I don't know, in Spain. I had spoke about that on the Blue Zipper podcast. I picked them up. So now it's like all that money they just earned and then some, because Black Friday in the States was crazy. Now they gotta shell that out. Now they gotta the money they make, now they gotta give that back 1 billion times more. It's crazy.
On behalf of 9 million people in the UK, they'd all bought.
So 9 billion people. 9 billion people. That makes sense why they're being sued for 7.9 million. Billion, I'm sorry. Because, 9 billion people. You see, I wasn't sure of the statistic number, but it's fact. 9 billion people that are suing them for 7.9. We're talking add-on bonuses. We're talking just games with add-on bonuses. I'm sorry. Come on, Sony. I hope you guys kind of bounce back from this. There's been a whole lot of changing of the guard over there. So hopefully they can make it work,
Bought digital games or add-on content through Sony's PlayStation Store. The lawsuit accuses Sony of abusing its dominant market position. It says the company required digital games and add-ons to be bought and sold only via the PlayStation Store. And this store charges a 30% commission to developers and publishers.
Man, oh man. So add-on bonuses and all that. So it makes sense so looking at it from that, it's like, all right, so the games now, are $70. Add-on content's $29.99, $39.99, and the developers get 30% of that. So realistically, they're making out with a good piece of change. And Sony's just kind of like, all right, we get the bigger deal. Out of 30, they probably keep the difference, and they keep the ball rolling. 9 billion people, and just in that respective region, from the DLC, the season passes, the cosmetics, everything, expansions are like $39.99, $29.99, and then like the add-on bonuses for cosmetics sometimes be like $199, $199, $99, and then sometimes they have like the $14.99, the $9.99s, and then when it goes on sale, maybe $3.99. So just imagine that, times 9 billion people. It's crazy. That's crazy. Like, that's crack prices. That's like pushing crack, bro. That's really like pushing crack. Like 99 cents, you got 9 billion people. I can only just imagine the people who's getting the DLC and the season passes, bro. But let's go.
The claim alleges customers have therefore paid higher prices for content than they would have done. Sony has fought back though. The Japanese firm's lawyers argue the case is flawed and should be thrown out.
I mean, of course they're gonna say it's flawed and it should be thrown out because they gotta protect their brand. They gotta, they gotta really like step in and be like, nah, this isn't gonna happen, But the proof is in the pudding, man. The proof is just flat out in the pudding, bro. I'm not taking nothing away from both respective parties, Japan or the UK, but I mean, like, numbers don't lie, bro. People do. And, people are spending a whole lot of money on content and you're giving out bad practices. And, they're going to have to say what they got to say, to lie for the defendant. So it doesn't really seem like, Sony's, playing like a funny game. So.
But the London Tribunal gave the go-ahead for a lawsuit brought by consumer advocate Alex Neil. Sony did not immediately respond to a request for comment.
I mean, because right now they still got to figure out how they're going to be able to recover from this, how they're going to be able to settle it for maybe a lesser price. He's suing for 1.9 billion, but maybe Sony might be like, hey, I know you want this or whatever, but tax, lawyers, court fees, maybe Sony might be like, hey, we'll give you, instead of 7.9, maybe, 2.9 billion. But of course, they're not going to reach out for comment. It's still like an ongoing case, and the fact that the London Tribunal kind of sanctioned it, they're just letting it happen. Now, I've seen this happen with bigger companies, Best Buys, McDonald's, Hollister, Bank of America had a situation like this a couple years ago with, they were just doing a whole lot of shady business and they sent everybody a little piece of change due to the lawsuit that they had to do. So I noticed, with a lot of these companies, when they, I'll say, get thrown into the fire and they gotta pay, it does make sense that they would pay every PlayStation owner something, compensate them for something. 9 billion people are, I'm going to say right now, are going to be getting a piece of that 7.9 billion. If not, everyone knows now the consumer, Alex Neils, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if he gets the 7.9, he needs to move on an island and be hush, go through a whole new name, because that's a lot of bread, player. That's a whole lot of cheese. And best believe, the rats is going to be on that. And I ain't talking about rats like snitches. I mean just people that really want a piece of that pie, who want a piece of that bread, bro. That's a lot of money, man. You're gonna have a target on your back, bro. So if I were you, man, I would definitely go through a whole new alias, man, and move up out of that situation, move up out of London and live somewhere far away, man. Live in the Caribbean or something, straight up. But I think what is more crazy is Sony right now is going to have to prepare for that. And I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know when it's said and done, I know we might not see that this year, this month. It's the end of the year, almost damn near the end of the year. We're now on December 1st. And this was like maybe 8 days ago, 3 days ago, 4 days ago, I'm still fairly new. And when it comes to a lot of that money, that's a lot of back and forth. That's a lot of in and out of courts. That's a lot of showing the facts, showing the numbers, building a timeline. By the time it's all said and done, Christmas already passed. Everyone's getting ready for the new year. They're going to probably postpone that, come back to it January, February, and then resolve it. You know what I'm saying? 7.9 billion. Listen, I dragged that motherfucker on up until 2025. Straight up, because bro, that's a lot of bread. That's a lot of bread, man. Listen, those 9 billion people should be touching some type of M's or something. That's a life-changing event soon. Like I said, I know people in the States that try to get that kind of money through car accidents, slip and falls out of McDonald's, slip and falls out of Walmart, slip and falls out of retail store, some situation on a Black Friday. There's a lot of people that try to do that, try to get something fall on their head and they knock out and they can't walk. They need the ambulance and they over here like, oh, I ain't gonna sue, but then when they're in that hospital and they get that bill, it's like, shit, I gotta sue. I gotta try to make some of that bread. And that's just what it is, man. You're talking about people could actually win 7.9 billion, and due to the inflation and due to the times of everything, like, bro, that's crazy. So a lot more people are going to try to find ways to kind of, like, I ain't gonna say cut a corner, but kind of like get it how they live, still have their main job, support their family. But hell, if I could get that 7.9 mil, I won't have to work at my job for a while, unless I choose to just to keep some steady income coming. But I don't need to worry about that. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. It's crazy. And with PlayStation, with Sony right now, they're definitely going to be in the hot seat. They definitely got to make sure like they are putting all their, eggs in one basket and not in all baskets, because like and I'm seeing it too, like the PlayStation games, man, they were kind of trash. They were really trash. I'm not feeling that. For a lot of people who don't know what the PlayStation Plus is for this month, I'll definitely talk about that in the next video. This November was a cool month, for it, but this month ain't really hitting. But I know because due to the lawsuit, they gotta figure out everything. They gotta figure out everything. So, but I definitely want to give shout out to my boy Nightwing for just giving me the tip on the replay and wanting me to kind of just talk about it. I didn't talk about it on the pod because I didn't know like what was gonna happen, but this is a type of lawsuit where it's gonna drag on. We won't see nothing until probably 2024. I know every podcaster is gonna cover it, every journalist is gonna cover it, and like last but not least, I'll more than likely cover it once all the smoke clears. But right now, there's a little bit of smoke, so I'm just kind of just giving you my heads up on that, man. It's really, really crazy on what could be happening, bro. Like, that's in London, that's in the respective areas. So imagine it being in the States, China, New Zealand, Australia, Switzerland, Russia, imagine them trying to get a piece of that pie. Like, shit, if England doing it, we doing it. Spain, like I said, Spain just bought PlayStation's Black Friday. Like, PlayStation's right now up ahead. Nintendo is second and Xbox is dead last. Like, a child's consoles beating Xbox. Like, Mario is really took off that white glove and smacked Master Chief in the face, smacked Sea of Thieves in the face. Luigi took off that white glove. Peach took off that white glove. And what else Xbox got? Slapped Starfield up in the face. Any Xbox type branding at this point. What's it? Hellblade 2 right in the face. Like, you're getting smacked by children's games at this point, like age 7 and up. No disrespect to Nintendo. I got Nintendo. But I'm just saying, like, from like that appeal, it's crazy. Pokemon is out here beating Halo. Like, Halo can't even get it together no more. You got Charizard out here flamethrowing everything from Xbox, and then Xbox just don't even got no more Phoenix Downs at this point. They down and need a Phoenix Down. Straight up. PlayStation's in the lead. Nintendo's like, we right behind y'all. I think Nintendo got like 6,000 units or something like that. So Nintendo's like, we right behind y'all. Xbox is dead last. Xbox need to just be an independent American console at that point. They better off just shit. Xbox might as well buy out Google Stadia and just compete with Stadia and just keep that between them, because at this point it's like it's crazy, but yeah, I'm curious to see what's gonna happen. Like I said, PlayStation right now is generating all this money, Black Friday, and the PS5 Slims dropped and stuff like that. A lot of people did unboxing, except XYZ, and buying PlayStation 5 games, first party PlayStation or third party that's on PlayStation. So them just generating all that much money, now they gotta give it back 7.9 billion percent. So it's gonna be crazy. All we could do is wait, see what's gonna happen for things to come. But we'll have to wait and see. But that's gonna pretty much conclude that topic for the PlayStation lawsuit. I won't say settlement, but lawsuit for right now. Hopefully they could get it settled. I'm hoping the start of 2024. That way they could be on a good note. The Game Awards is next week. So I know they won't be talking about that, but hopefully they could kind of win a few games and still get some kind of notoriety, even though they're going through this hard time. I'm really hoping. But that's going to be it, man. If you guys like what I'm doing, go ahead and subscribe, like, and leave a comment down below. Do you think the PlayStation lawsuit will end this year, or do you see it continuing for 2024? We get a conversation going. And also go ahead and check out my other channel, KG Films, where I just talk about like shows, movies, and etc., and stuff like that. Got a couple things on that channel. I did Yu Yu Hakusho. I talked about the whole like Madam Web movie. We don't really need that. My top 5 movies that I can always rewatch. Plus, I also cover the Goosebumps that was on Disney Plus, just to kind of give you my take on maybe the direction of that show. So go ahead and check out that channel. Also, check me out on Spotify with the Blue Saber Podcast. Links will all my stuff will be out to the description down below. So I'm saying that's pretty much going to be it, man. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. It's the Clash Masters, and I'm signing out. Peace.